Hello, MMA lovers. I am Jason Burgos for Sherdog.com, and I am joined by a man all the way from England who upset some big plans in the Bellator heavyweight division this past week over in Israel. At Bellator 234, he went into the main event against Sergey Kharitonov, the hottest heavyweight in the promotion outside of champion Ryan Bader, and this man lived up to his moniker and straight swarmed the Russian
Right.
en route to a second round TKO victory, and that man is Linton Vassell. Linton, my man, what is up? Thanks for giving me some time after that
Hey,
massive win.
of course, always got time. Yeah, I'm still buzzing. Seriously, still high. So yeah, it was a good event in Tel Aviv. It was nice being out there. But obviously, I got the result I wanted.
When we talked last time, it was after you made the decision to move to heavyweight, and we talked about the pros and the cons of the decision of. And now, of course, we're going to get to the Kharitonov
Yeah,
fight without a doubt. But I want to get a little more context leading up to this particular fight, because you did make your heavyweight debut in March, and you lost some unanimous decision to Valentin Moldavsky. Looking
yeah,
back on that fight and the camp for that one. And was there a learning experience that helped from that fight, the first heavyweight fight, that helped for this swing?
yeah,
On the broadcast at this past weekend, they mentioned how you've been working on heavyweight and getting the right size and
yeah,
preparing for over a year. But were there lessons learned from that fight and like, say, nutrition, strength and conditioning that made you better going into the Kharitonov fight?
yeah, 100%. Pretty much. So obviously, I was fighting light heavyweight for a long time, and then I just decided, obviously, I made the choice to go to heavyweight. So Moldavsky was, my first heavyweight fight. I just thought it was a good idea if I sort of weighed, and I was the biggest guy in there. So I came in at 247, and I've never weighed that in my life.
Wow.
So it was a bit of a silly thing to do, to go into the fight that heavy, obviously trying to carry that much weight. And yeah, I wouldn't say I was injured, but I couldn't do any running.
Okay.
So I was doing other stuff, but now I look back at it, I wasn't doing what I should have done. Again, not taking nothing away from Moldavsky. He beat me. I felt fit in that fight. I only had, I guess, 2 rounds in me. But yeah, I was just too heavy. He got the win. Fair play to him. And then me and the coaches, my team went back and we sat down and we said, Jay, you're too big. Too big. Yeah, that is real. You're too big.
Yeah.
Let's change a few things up. Come in for this next fight, whether it's going to, about 230, 240. That's right, about 235, 240. And I had from March, it was March. So from March up till now, to find a good weight, train, nutrition, conditioning, and get my body to be training for heavyweight fights and heavyweight people. And obviously we had some big guys, we got some big guys training with us as well. So I felt good leading up to that fight, but I felt amazing for this one. So it was a life lesson. I feel like obviously I needed. I wish I didn't, but I feel like if I didn't have that then,
Right.
it might have happened now. And I felt like this fight was a much bigger fight. So yeah, things happen for a reason. And I wasn't losing 4 in a row. He would have to have killed me.
Yeah.
I'll say he was not winning. I was going out on my shield. I was not going to lose that fight.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. That perfectly goes to the next question, because, you did lose 3 in a row. It's a good competition, though. Moldavsky's a rising talent. Phil Davis, former champ, Ryan Bader. Was there a pressure about, were you thinking, damn, man, this could put my job in jeopardy? It'd be 2 in a row at 205, 2 in a row heavyweight. Did you have that fear, or did Bellator say, look, Linton, that's not a problem. Don't worry about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, they didn't say nothing like that, so I didn't hear nothing from them saying like that. But yeah, obviously fighting Ryan Bader and Phil Davis, obviously I know they're top level light heavyweights. So going into the Moldavsky fight, obviously I was confident I was going to win that. Obviously didn't get the win, so I was thinking, I'm probably going to get cut soon. I didn't. They gave me one more chance. But yeah, I've never lost 2 fights in a row, let alone 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did have pressure, definitely.
Does it change training? Do you feel more anxiety going to the fight?
It was the pressure that motivated me.
Okay.
Seriously, I wasn't sitting there moping about, all upset, thinking I'm gonna lose my job, motivated me to be like, people are gonna think I'm a pussy right now. Seriously, because I can't be gassing. I can't be getting tired in the fight. I feel like to lose a fight, you need to be beaten up by the guy because he's better than you, not from getting tired. So obviously, for me, that was embarrassing. And yeah, obviously, I took that fuel with me, and just worked. So yeah, I brought that fire with me.
Now, considering the circumstances going into this Kharitonov fight, Sergey's on a hot streak. His resume at heavyweight is very good for a long, long time. This being your second fight in the division, we mentioned, going into it on the losing streak. Were you? And the fascinating thing about this, you were not a big underdog for the betting odds. First, did you know about that going in, and was that a confidence boost in terms of like the odds makers know how really, really good and dangerous you are, considering Sergey's resume? And second, when the fight was booked, what did you like about it from your perspective, this particular matchup with Kharitonov?
Yeah, so I didn't know about the odds. I like to not really look at social media, especially on the day, because you've got so many things going around your head. You don't want to sort of get all that into you. So I didn't really know about the odds until after, but I had a feeling I was definitely the underdog,
right?
Especially losing 3 fights,
right?
And the way he was, obviously knocking people out. And they were saying before that he's probably going to fight for the title.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got the call, I was surprised. I really didn't think I'd be fighting him again. I thought, I'd be fighting, obviously, someone else could come up the rankings. But that's the fight they offered me. And I've been watching him. And Matt Mitrione's one of my teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw, the success he had before, obviously, it went the other way.
Yeah.
And I knew my ability, I was going to be the faster, and I've got a great ground game. So, when I was given the fight, I went back to my coaches, we spoke, and they said it's a perfect matchup. Obviously, he's a big, strong guy. If he hits you, you've got to be ready, and, we worked all around that. But, but I had a great game plan, and I couldn't have executed it better, seriously.
And
everything went to plan.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's where I was going to next, because, for this fight itself, essentially you dominated him. This is a guy who had won 6 in a row, 30-8 career record. Like you said before, he was the number 1 contender. Even before this fight, he was the number 1 contender. Did you expect it to go as well as it did? Did you figure there'd be a little bit more resistance than it seemed to be?
Yeah.
And what was the game plan like going into it? Because I noticed first round you did a lot of calf kicks, which I'm a huge calf kick fan. Love those.
That's money. Calf kicks is money.
Yes.
That's the best
ever
thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I watched his fights, but again, no disrespect, I didn't know who he was before, because I was pretty late getting into MMA watching. So I was more like Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, and that's who I got. That's who I found as fighters. That's who I was watching first. So when they were like, "Oh, Kharitonov's been fighting Pride, veteran, blah blah," I was like, "I've not seen his fights." I only knew him from the Bellator when he came to Bellator. So I felt like that was a little less pressure. But again, I knew he was dangerous. So for me, and when we spoke, the game plan was keep it long. You know what I mean? Spoil his game, because he likes to, walk you down, trap you in the corner, throw them uppercuts. For me, my game is keep it long, calf kicks, takedown, and pretty much it went to plan. I did expect him to, it wouldn't go as planned like that. I thought it'd be, a bit more hard work. Not saying it wasn't, Not saying it wasn't, but
of course.
But just the way it worked was I couldn't have asked for a better fight.
That the announcers praised your strength during the fight, and we talked about it months back in working with legit heavyweights like you mentioned, Matt Mitrione at Hard Knocks 365. You work with Struve in the past, Maori right now, and another monster guy, top prospect. Grappling isn't his strength, but he has solid grappling. He has some submissions on his resume. When grappling with him, did you feel you were the stronger man, and did you feel there was a big technical gap between you two as well?
Yes, I really did, because there's a guy called Jairzinho. I can't say his name. He's fighting what's his name? He's fighting Overing next.
Oh yeah, Jairzinho Rozenstruik.
Like strong like an ox. Seriously, and he was my training partner for
Oh
the whole 8 weeks.
wow. Yeah, he's
Strong,
nasty.
seriously. It's hard to take down, and he's super strong. I can't submit him. Like, just super strong. Obviously, not taking away from his striking. He's an awesome striker as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's what I was training with. So I was expecting that kind of strength when I grappled with Sergio, but it wasn't the same. I grabbed him, and I was pretty much able to take him down.
Wow.
And work my positions and stuff. So I don't know if it was because I was working with my man. It just it came all together. But yeah, I just didn't feel that his win was obviously like his strongest point.
Right. You have some big wins on your resume. Sokaju, Emmanuel Newton, Lee McGeary. Two former champions of Bellator. Is this the biggest win of your career because of everything leading up to it? And is it like the biggest win by far?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, easily. Yeah, like again, just look at his resume. He's fought top boys pretty much through his whole career. So yeah, definitely my biggest win. And I'd even say my best fight today as well.
Is it fun to upset the plans for the heavyweight title situation? Because like,
of course.
like I mentioned earlier, he was number one contender for sure. Yeah. Even then, and what's funny too is the announcers were talking about when you got him down the first time, saying like, "Oh, Bader's probably watching this. He's going to take cues from them." Just assuming, he'll get you at some point and then still fight Bader.
Yeah.
Is it fun that you did this? You upset the apple cart, so to speak. And in a way, should a guy like Josh Barnett give you a shout out and a thank you? Because now if he wins next month, he has a good chance to get a title shot.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. I'd like to thank you. But yeah, I felt like I was definitely the underdog and getting written up a little bit. Like, because when I was listening, they were like, if he gets out, then obviously it's bad for Linton. I shouldn't have gone for that shot.
So you can hear them talking while you're fighting.
Opinions.
Yeah.
Again, but yeah, I love upsetting people and letting them know that I'm not here just to be a number. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here just to be a number, man. So don't write me off.
Could you hear the announcer? You heard the announcers talking while you were grappling with him?
No.
Oh, okay.
I heard it. Cause I've watched it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, coming off of this big win, the obvious question is, what's next? Months back, when we talked the first time, you told me Mitrione and Chet Congo are no-goes because you're friends with them. You've trained with, Mitrione and stuff like that. Would you like, in that case, an established name next, like a Frank Mir, Roy Nelson, Vitaly Menikov? Or
all them names. all them names, seriously. A Fedor fight, I'd love that as well. I know he's fighting Rampage next.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? He's a legend in the game. I've always said I'd like to fight. Yeah, all the names you just named. Frank Mir's has come off a big win as well, a big country. So yeah, again, I'm not here to be a number, so I'm here to fight them all and obviously get that title fight at the end.
Would there be a preference though in something like that because they're a bigger name, or would you be interested if they came with something different, like you get to derail the hype train of somebody maybe that they got a lot of marketing behind, like a Javi Ayala, Terrell Fortune, Jake Hager? Would those still appeal to you, or you want like a former champion, big name, that kind of thing?
A big name, man. I feel like that's I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I've been in this game for a long time. 14 years nearly. So yeah, I'd love a big name, man. I feel like that's what I need next.
Now, one of the things that the broadcast continually showcased during your fight was that you had family in the crowd. Is that something a little different than the norm? Were they mainly there because they're in the UK, they can go to Israel easy? Are they often at your fights in America, or was this kind of a special occasion?
Nah, they're always there. My mum and my sister, always. Every fight they can make, that they will be there. I think maybe they've missed one fight. I think ever in my life.
Does it feel weird?
Maybe two, but sorry.
When they're not there, because they're there all the time, is it like a letdown? Is it like it's a take away from something a little bit because that's part of the routine for you, them being there?
No, nah, it didn't. I'm trying to think. I think it was like the Francis Carmont fight. Maybe they didn't come to, but what I remember back, I won that fight as well. So I wouldn't have said it played a part, but yeah, they were always there to support 100%.
Now, I always like to end the interviews, and I haven't done it with you yet in terms of like finding more about the person away from fighting, because I've talked to so many fighters, and they talk about the mental stress of a camp and what you got to go through, and you kind of have to do things to kind of settle and diffuse and get away from fighting at times. Now, we've talked in the past about we both love like comic book movies and those kind of superhero movies and stuff like that. We can talk about that. You could tell me some other passions, things you like to do that have nothing away from fighting. Like, what are some of the things you like to do that just is not fighting related?
Well, you must not have reptiles. I don't know, or I've seen them on social media. So I'm always in that reptile shop playing.
Favorite? What's your favorite species? What do you like to go for?
I love snakes. I have two snakes. I love geckos as well. But yeah, I say snakes are my favorite. And then definitely goes into like the lizard family. I love geckos.
What is the appeal? What do you like about them that you
I can't really. I just like them. Like, I guess like how people like dogs or cats.
Was it something you've always felt like that since a kid, or it's like when you got into grappling and you felt like there's a connection with the snake and its ability to wrap around and choke?
It does wrap around me. My friend had a snake. And I looked after it for a couple of months. And then, I don't know, ever since then, I was like, I like snakes. And then it wasn't until I moved to Florida, I was like, let me get my own snake. And one turned to two. I have 4 reptiles. Obviously, the list will get bigger.
When you have company over, are they like, oh, snake? Are they scared? Yes, or do you have to kind of like hold them?
Not all the time, but yeah, people are a bit like, oh, snake, and some people like to hold them and that. So, I get a bit of both feedback. Some people hate them, some people love them.
Now, the other obvious question, because we talked about comic book movies and stuff like that, have you purchased a Disney Plus subscription yet? Or are you going to wait till those shows come out?
I'm going to wait till the shows come out. Like, I'm going to be watching some of them. There's Loki, and there's Vision and Wanda.
Yep.
Who's Loki with? Is it Loki?
No, it's just Loki by himself. It's Winter.
Okay, I don't know. It's Winter Soldier, isn't it?
Yep, and Falcon.
And Falcon, yeah. So when they start airing, that's when I'll get it.
Is there one that you're more excited about seeing than the other?
Yeah, I want to see the WandaVision, because she's some powerful witch.
Yeah.
I don't think they've used her, and so's Vision. They've not used them like they should. So hopefully they, I feel like it was a little pum in was it Infinity Wars?
Yeah. I want to know what happened. Yeah,
he got stabbed up a couple times. That was and died. So hopefully they bring him up. And I heard one starts going crazy.
Yeah, it's going to go into Doctor Strange too. Yep.
See, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yep.